welcome to Microsoft 365 Virtual Marathon. Welcome to a quick session on building business apps with Microsoft Graph from me, Thangu or Thangeshwari. I'm a SharePoint consultant and owner or app or tool creator on thangu.com. You can reach me out on Twitter at allaloneisfine or email at spthangu@gmail.com. Please mark your calendars for the upcoming Microsoft 365 Collaboration Conference at Las Vegas, Nevada, USA on March 23rd to 25, 2021. And a special thanks to the sponsors like Perficient, AirPoint, Affirma, Pointfire, KViscom, Valo. Let's jump into the session Building Business Apps with Microsoft Graph. We'll be learning a less but apply more. You will learn what is Microsoft Graph, why Microsoft Graph, learn about the heart of Microsoft Graph, that is URL construction. You'll be watching many power-packed demos using PowerShell, JavaScript, SPFX, Flow or Power Automate, and also I will be giving you generic instructions on how to develop a Microsoft Graph with sample JavaScript app. So what are the gifts from me from the session? For the next 10 to 15 days, the recording will be available on thangu.com. And also, I think recording is also available for free from the Marathon team. And you can get a free ebook on top 10 MS Graph sample projects from over 100 projects, which will guide you on how to approach a MS Graph approach for a business application. So make sure you can hear me and see the screen, and also have some water by your side. So I hope you're all ready for the session. And while you're just getting ready, let me introduce myself. My full name is Thangeshwari or Thangu. I'm a consultant of Microsoft technologies like SharePoint and PowerShell since 2006. I've been coding since 1995. And I have been achieving many things since 2006, but the recent and the best, which is close to my heart, is the 100 plus apps, which was a self challenge for me in October 2019, where I did various apps in a single month using MS Graph, SPFX, PowerShell, and many others. And I've been helping many clients around the world on SharePoint and PowerShell, and my top clients are mostly in USA. So I really hope that one of you is lucky enough to get the Oculus Quest all-in-one. So just enter the raffle and just hope you become a lucky winner. So let me just wish you all a warm welcome. So I'm assuming you are a business analyst or a key decision maker or a business owner of a small business or a web developer or a developer, and someone who knows Office 365 basics or SharePoint basics. If not, no problem. If you can use the computer enough, that's more than enough. And it's always nice to learn something new. So if you have spent some time to attend this session, I request you to just sit and enjoy the session and get some takeaway from this session. So we'll be starting with the basics of Microsoft Graph APIs, then go into advanced scenarios with various apps like SPFX, Power Platform, JavaScript, PowerShell. Then I will conclude with the generic steps on the Microsoft Business App development. So we will see what is Microsoft Graph, why the heart of Microsoft Graph, that is Graph URL, lot of demos and the steps. So why this particular MS Graph session? So this is the latest AI type of development in SharePoint or even Microsoft 365. And the best thing is in this session, you're not expected to have paid Azure, yet you can do powerful applications if you have a paid Microsoft 365 license. That is more than enough. And it just comes with $10 a month. And you really, if you're a developer, you can just register for the developer Office 365 or Microsoft 365, and you can start practicing on your own. And this session, you will learn from the demos, and you will understand what are the approaches to MS Graph development for a business application. And if you have an idea, you can check how you can use MS Graph to build a business application. So I'll be showing a demo on Microsoft Flow, then SPFX and JavaScript, and also PowerShell. And finally, we'll be learning the steps on MS Graph development, and I'll be taking the case of simple JavaScript. Now let's understand what is Microsoft Graph. Microsoft Graph is intelligence plus data. Just as you, a human brain, has tons of neural networks and data is connected, lots of memories are stored, and when you need, you can take them. So Graph is connecting various points of data in an intelligent way. So you have a calendar or task or people or teams or SharePoint data or devices and meetings. So there's a lot of things going on, and you can bring them all together with the help of Microsoft Graph API. So the various objects are users, groups, files, mail, calendar, tasks, and many more like planners, booking, and it's ongoing. There's a lot of things added on. It's a recent feature from Microsoft. I highly recommend you have a look at the Microsoft site and keep yourself updated. So I have done around 100 plus applications, and there's a lot of improvements going on Microsoft site, and there's so much creative applications you can do. As of now, I'm just focusing on 4 main because these are the common repetitive requirements. So definitely first is the reporting, where you can report on objects in SharePoint or Microsoft 365. You can search for a data, and you can automate a task using Flow, and you can do many web apps. So let's jump into the heart of Microsoft Graph. The heart of Microsoft Graph is the Graph API, which is nothing but the REST URL. So if you are a developer, you must be aware of the REST API and the CRUD concept. That is, if you want to, CRUD means create, read, update, delete. So nowadays, long ago, you had to write code in 1,000 lines or more. Nowadays, writing a code is nothing but constructing a REST API. For creating, you use post request, and for reading, you use get request, and for updating, you use put or patch, and then for deleting, you use delete. So a REST URL has to be constructed, and then you will have one piece of code in the programming language of your choice, and you will be doing something. So after all, even a business analyst can start coding nowadays. So that's the power, like it's everything is merging together, and URL coding is the way now. So Graph API starts with graph.microsoft.com, and it's followed by the version. It can be either V1 or beta. V1 is for production. If you want to just do testing, you can do the beta. I highly recommend you use V1 itself, followed by the objects or the resources. It may be the site or the list or the user and many more. And you have special queries like way to select certain columns or do filter and also expand the column, or I mean many other things. So we'll just see some demos to understand what I'm saying. So how do you actually test the Microsoft Graph? You have to go to the Graph Explorer. You need to have a Microsoft 365 account, preferably admin account, and run and test the query. Go to developer.microsoft.com Graph Explorer, type the query. There are default queries available even if you don't know the query, and you can just click that and start testing. Make sure you have the permissions or give the permissions. And as of now, if you are new, I highly recommend you just use the get request and then analyze the JSON results. So we'll do a lot of demo one by one. So we'll just see a demo on searching all sites, then view all users, view the current users, calendar, and sending email. So I'm just going, let me just go back to the Graph Explorer. So first you have to go to the Graph Explorer URL and make sure you're logged in. So if you see the sign in icon, make sure you're logged in. So as of now, I'm logged in with this account. So Graph Explorer is constantly undergoing changes. So right now I'm just focusing on get. If you want to create, you use post, update means put or patch, and delete means delete. And the URL you have to give here. So by default, we have the me query if it comes. So you don't need to know anything and just run the query and you can see the results. So I'm just going to the adaptive cards. So let me just go to me query and just run adaptive cards. So this is a new feature where you can see the results in a beautiful way. Otherwise, you can see the response in the response preview. So let me start with the sites. So SharePoint has many sites. If I want to see all the sites, all I have to do is just give search equal to star. So what happens is search equal to star. So when I want to search all the sites, I can see the results here. So look at the JSON results. So a JSON result has a kind of format which is like an array mostly. So for example, within this value, it has an array of values. The created date time gives the time it was created. The ID gives the site ID. And then the name gives the name of the site and web URL. So like this, you have so much data. So suppose you want to see only the web URL, then what you will do? So then you have to just say $select equal to the column name, that is the web URL, the property. So if I want to see only the web URL, $site equal select. Sorry about that. I think I made a small type error. So let me just move on to the next query and come back here. So let me just search for a particular root site. So if I just search for the root site, I have to give site/root. So it has a root site is Tangeshwari's team site. Now, if I want to view all the drives or just the particular drive, so SharePoint site has many document libraries, then we can just give the root document library, then it shows the document library name documents. Now if I want to view all the documents, I just have to give drives and it shows document library, app packages, and many other things like uh, comic flow test which are available. So if you are an administrator, you just have to log into the Graph Explorer and see the hidden data. There are around 100 plus MS Graph APIs for Microsoft 365. You just have to log into this portal and just try to give the query and get the data you need. It may be for a user or even for the sites. So let me move on to the user. So if I want to search for the users, if I want to search for the users, $select equal to display name. So what happens? This shows. So this is the query. So what I was trying to say with the search sites was to select only the particular column. So if this is the OData query. If I want to select a particular column, I have to give $select followed by the property display name. So if I want to search for all the users display name, I have various users like Alice, Astro, Sivaranjani, and many others. So if you want to display only the display name, I have to use the query select equal to display name. Suppose I want to view the current user, then I have to use equal to me. And what happens, that will display the current user and it shows my name Tangeshwari. So this is for displaying the user details for users as well as the current logged in user. Suppose I want to see my events. So let's say I have various events in the calendar and I want to see the subject property of the events. So various events. So there are various events you can see, and I can see, for example, building business apps with MS Graph. This is a event in my Teams and I can see that. So now if I want to see the messages, you have a lot of emails, and if I want to see the messages over here in the JSON result, I can see that. So I can see new list created, upcoming birthdays, and various email, the subject I can see. And next is the filter. So suppose I want to do filter, I can just put ampersand for the next OData query. Filter equal to starts with. So I just spelling should be correct, starts with, and I give the column name subject, comma, let's say Joel. So there is a mail, I'm searching for a mail with subject having Joel, and it shows that, okay, there is a message from this particular user. So this is for filter starts with. And similarly, you have filter for equal to and not equal to. So if suppose I want to say subject equal to new list created. So what happens? I can even do a filter for the items, all the emails where the new list created is the subject. So we have seen a lot of things. So we have searched for the user details, the site details, then the use and then the events, the messages. And let's just try to now send an email. And also I forgot to mention, we saw the OData query, like selecting and then filtering for starts with as well as equal to. If it's less than equal to, all you have to do is less than equal to, which is self-explanatory. Please note that as of now, MS Graph does not have the contains query, but I think it would come soon. Now let's just try to do a post query. Suppose I want to send the email. So let's say I have an email, and then if you want to have a post request, you just have to select post, and then you have to give the message in the request body. So you have the message. Let's say we have a subject called, you have a payout, and the content type is HTML, and the content I will say, okay, you have received this much amount for this product or services. And the recipients can be one email address or many email address. And the moment I run this query, so what happens? The email is sent and the green symbol accepted has come, and I can see that in the email. So a nice, I have an email. It shows the bold format for $1,000. So because of the HTML content type. So we have seen, let's come back. We have seen a demo on how to search for all the sites, search for all the drives, view all users, view the current user, view the events or the messages in Outlook, and also send email. So we have just learned how to create a MS Graph API on various graph objects, and we also learned what is MS Graph, intelligent way to connect data, and why MS Graph, because that is the latest AI way of development. And this particular session, you don't need a paid Azure subscription. So if you want more details, you can go to the Microsoft Graph, use the API link, and there are tons and tons of APIs. I have personally tested around 100 plus or even 200 Microsoft Graph APIs, and it's ongoing. Microsoft is constantly working on that. So it's just an idea. You just need an idea and you have to just implement the API, that's all. So I'll just start off with some demos on sample business apps before I go into the how part. So we will just look at the demo of SPFX, a simple PowerShell, and also JavaScript. So let me just go to the SPFX app. So this is a SPFX page. So due to the extension, it has a huge header and footer, but let me just ignore that. I'll click edit. And if I go to the MS Graph, this is the MS Graph app. So what I'm doing is currently I'm just showing the chart, which is the chart from a Excel file in OneDrive. So this is a common requirement even in many secret organizations. They would love to generate a complex chart. And long back we had to use complex Excel web access web part, and in the end it might fail because of permission issues. And in this MS Graph and SPFX, you don't have to worry about configuring in the Azure and all, Azure portal. It's very simple and straightforward. And I'm just have a simple graph API that will read the chart from the OneDrive. So this is for the chart. So similarly, I have tested various things. Suppose I want to see all the list in this particular, sites in this particular site, it shows the sites available. And how to view all the list using just the MS Graph, I can see all the list in the site collection, what are all the drives, and some of the interesting things of MS Graph are recent items. So what are the recent items? So recently I just added this index code, which I'll be showcasing soon. So that is nicely shown here. And the most interesting is the trending. So if you are a CEO of an organization or a manager or a decision maker, this is a very useful data. Even if you're a developer, you can just make this for the CEO, where you can understand what are the trending items in your organization and take decision accordingly. So if you have like thousands or 10,000s of sites, this trending algorithm will take care of getting the top items, and then you can also drill down to the top images or and top trending items or top sites, and you can display it in a different way. So for this particular case, I've just used a simple different way to display the data. So displaying the data I've done using simple HTML and CSS, and you can use PPT to display the PPT. So if the data is there, it will show. So let me move on and just show the last one for the SPFX, where I just want to see the items which are shared with me in this site. So these are the links which are shared with the current user. So this is, I'm just reverting back to the chart itself, and I'll just close it. This is a simple SPFX app done using Microsoft Graph. I'm calling the Graph API and displaying the data. So this is the sample demo of SPFX app. Now let me move on to the PowerShell apps. So PowerShell, I have created some scripts. So let me just run this. So there are two scripts I'm going to show. So one is MS Graph All Sites. So if you look at the MS Graph All Sites, when I click that, it's going to ask me for the tenant name and then the place where I'm going to store the reports. And then when I just enter the password, what happens, it will take some time and then generate the report and the mail is sent. So if I look at the report, this is the report which shows all the sites in Office 365 or Microsoft 365 using MS Graph. There are around 200 items to count. So you just have to get the business logic, and in case certain tools like ShareGate cannot do, you can just start constructing the MS Graph. And this is a very nice way where I just use PowerShell. It's extremely fast, tremendously fast. SPFX, you have to do a lot of bundling, deploying and all. PowerShell is the fastest and the simplest. And there's so much you can do with PowerShell, especially if you want a lot of reporting data. And this is one example. And let me just go to another example where I'm just going to see the upcoming birthdays. So there was a request from a manager where they wanted to see the upcoming birthdays in the next 7 days. So using PowerShell, I'm just going to, so whichever tenant you are, you can run the exe and you give your tenant admin name and you give the URL where the birthday list is there, and I give the birthday details list, and then I have to give the password. And once you give the password, based on the size of your data, it will generate the report, and I can see that there are around 3 users. So this is the birthday list. And so look at this Aarti, it shows the birthday is June 1st, which is in the next 7 days. So this can be handy. So many times people love to use SharePoint to help people connected and enjoy the birthday. So SharePoint can be a good portal to just extract data and automate certain things, and PowerShell is the best way. So I think I think I have around 100, and it's always increasing. There's always constantly people asking for this and that, and PowerShell is the top selected tool. And even if you're not a developer, you can start learning PowerShell in just 2 to 3 hours and you can start coding. So that's the beauty of PowerShell. And let me move on to the SPA apps. So SPA apps, I'm going to show the demo of 2 apps. And this is one of my favorites. So personally, SPA apps is my favorite. So this is a simple SPA app where I'm using Microsoft Graph, and the data is coming from the SharePoint list. So we have MS Teams, meetings without tough travel. All this data are coming from the SharePoint list, and the video URL is coming from the SharePoint list. And I'm using Accordion to display the data. And what personally I like this because many times users or clients do not like the SharePoint interface, and they want to see something in the way they want. Right now, the UI user interface of Microsoft 365 is in the hands of Microsoft. And this SPA application will give you the flexibility to design the way you want and yet store the data in SharePoint. So this is a simple app where I'm just, so I think I used to make videos, and I have around 300 videos. So this is a simple page that shows the MS Teams training, and on clicking the topic, you can just listen to the video and learn. So this is just to make the learning easier. So if you have any other ideas, so Accordion is one of the common ways. Accordion and slideshow, these are the common requests. So hence I've just chosen Accordion. The way you display can be different. but the data can be stored in SharePoint. You'll be calling the Graph API, give the necessary permissions, and you're all set to go. Next is the trending use. Here I'm using the jQuery. Many times people like jQuery, and hence a jQuery data table where you can search for the item. I personally prefer to use vanilla JavaScript itself, but this is one of the sought after way to display data. And if you have hundreds of items, you have the option to do pagination and also see the few items if needed. So this is the trending items. So this is the SPA app. Now let's go on to the custom flow. So in this particular flow demo, what I'm going to do is when a new item is created, I'm going to create a list and then delay for a few seconds. And then I'm going to call a batch graph API and send a notification. So actually what we are going to do is I'm going to like purchase a new item. So imagine you're going to a store. If you are purchasing fruits, actually what it means is you might be purchasing apple, mango, banana, pomegranate, or the fruits and vegetables. So what I'm saying is when you're purchasing an item, it's going to create a list with that name, and in that list we are going to have few items. So I'm going to automate that with the help of Power Automate or Flow. So let's say I'm just going to give item, let's say fruits marathon EA, and I just select save. Now, so it does take some time to get created. So while it's going on, I'll just go to the actual flow. So what happens is in the flow, I'm just going to call the request. So this is the request body where I'm going to create the list using this particular URL, and I'm going to call the post method. I'm going to take the title from the title column, and then I'm going to create a column called location. So this is the graph query to create the list. I'm creating a generic list. And now if you notice, this is the graph query. When I look at the sample run, the body that has the responses, and within the responses, it has a body tag, and within the body, I have the ID. So this is the list ID I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the body tag, that is I'm going to get the response from the previous from this create list Tangu, and I'm going to read the responses of 0 and then body dot id. So this is how I get the list ID, and then using the list ID I'm going to call a batch request. So batch request means it's going to add many items, and if I just call this request, so let me just look at the batch request. So this is first batch item, I'm calling a post request and adding a title, adding a apple. Then next batch, I'm going to call the post and adding the orange. So I'll show a sample batch. So let's say I'm just going to call the batch query graph.microsoft.com batch, and I'm just calling two queries. So one is red apple, and then I'm going to orange London. In a different list, I'm going to add these values. And what happens in a batch? So parallelly, many items are added. So this list has already many items. So when I call the batch query, many items are added. So that's the beauty of, see, red apple, banana, orange kiwi. Note that it's not sequential. It's a parallel batch query. So so parallelly the requests are happening, and it can speed up your process. So this is how. So when I just create it, so let me just go to a sample, and so what happens when I just create this list. Now if I just go to this particular list, what happens? I can just see that it has created the items called apple and orange, and because of the delay, definitely it will take some time, and then once it's added, email will be triggered. So this is how we can automate. So the limit is endless. So this is a one-step process where you have to create a custom connector. You have to just create a custom connector, and the steps are clearly given in Microsoft site, and you just have to do that one time, and then you can call any graph query and do what you want in the flow. So the possibilities are endless with the flow. This is a sample demo flow. So we have seen a lot of demo to help you understand the business applications, we saw a demo on SPFX app, demo on PowerShell app, demo on Flow app. So let's jump into the how part, that is how to develop the Microsoft Graph app. So there are tons and tons of ways. So why are we learning this? Because apps can help you to make use of the Graph API for meaningful and useful purposes. Of course, from the Graph Explorer, you can very well have a nice app, you get the data and see it if you're an admin, and so many things you can do with Graph Explorer. But with the help of app development, you can actually do a nice app. So what are the steps for any Microsoft Graph app? So first you need to decide the permission. So that is called identity management. So simply put, you have to decide whether it's app registration, that is app can access, or the logged in user can access the data, or anyone can access. And you need to get the tokens or client ID, client secret, and then you have to get the Graph API ready, which we have done so far. Then you need to write the code to connect to the MS Graph. Microsoft has made it easy from almost any programming language, and then you process the JSON results. So first you have to go to the portal.azure.com. You have to create a new Azure registration and then add the permission based on your identity model and get the client secret. To keep things simple, we are just going to create a simple JavaScript app where you have to get the query ready, then test the query, then create a new project. You have to connect to the OAuth, then can update the client ID, client secret, and we are just going to read the data and display the data. So in this particular JavaScript app, we are just going to read the SharePoint list items and display that in a table. So why am I choosing JavaScript app? So there are various ways. There are various ways, like around 10 or more ways. You have PHP, Python, Android, ASP.NET, and many more. And why am I choosing JavaScript to display the SharePoint list items, simple JavaScript? Because among all the ways, JavaScript is the simplest, and the same concept is applicable to everything. And why I have chosen JavaScript is because it is much faster than any SPFX headaches. If you are sometimes if you understand like SPFX, it takes a long time. You have to bundle, you have to test in development, UAT, and production. If you want an app quickly to be deployed, then you can just do a simple JavaScript app. And the file of an SPFX apps, the code for SPFX app is really huge, but this JavaScript will be like a few MBs. And no complex SharePoint UI, you can decide your own UI, and you don't need to have a paid Azure subscription, or Microsoft 365 subscription is enough. So what is going on is you have the identity platform. You're going to log in with the user ID password, and then you get the ID token. There is something called and you give the token, and identity platform will take the access token, and with that access token the data is sent, and if it's the authorization is successful, you get the results and you get the JSON values and display. So similar to going to an airport. So suppose you're going to an aeroplane or even a bus, or you need to have a ticket. So you show the ticket, and after that they validate your passport and everything, and they give you the boarding pass. So with the boarding pass, then you can board the aeroplane and go to the destination. Similarly, in OAuth, this is the OAuth concept where you have to give the token, and then user ID password, and then you get the access token, and with the access token the data, JSON data is obtained, and we can see the results. So as I told again, you have to create the Azure app, get the client ID, and then test the graph queries in the Graph Explorer, and which we have seen, see the JSON data. For JavaScript, things are made very easy with the help of msal.js, or you can write your own OAuth JavaScript if you know the JavaScript, and you can display the results in the table. So you can go to the Azure portal and create a new registration and add the permission, which is pretty straightforward. And then go to the graph query and then get the JSON results. So if I go to the graph query, so if I go to the graph query, so if I go to the graph query, let's look at this particular graph query. So I have a list. So this is the graph query. So I have a SharePoint site, and and this is the site ID, and with the site ID I'm just going to look at the list with the list ID and then reading all the items, and I have to use the query expand equal to fields, otherwise I'll not get the title and the location or the columns for the list. And when I run this query, what happens, it shows the results. So the results you observe, it has a value, and within the value all I'm interested is in the fields, and within the fields I need the title and the location. So this is the SharePoint list fruits where I have a title and a location, and I want to display that inside this JavaScript app called and simple JavaScript app, and I've just done the coding in Notepad. It's very simple, and so I'll just look at go through the code. So make sure that you have to reference the Bluebird and MSALJS. So everything, the code from Microsoft is going to be the same. And there are only few things that you need to change. So overall, the code is, most of the things are going to be the same. And only thing you need to change what? You need to get the client ID. So once you create go to the Azure portal, and you have to go to the secrets, client secret certificates, or browse and make sure you give the necessary API permissions. For example, for this particular, it is sites.read.all. So based on the object, make sure you have the corresponding permission. And then, so client ID, I'm giving the correct client ID from the Azure portal, and these things will be the same. Then the graph me endpoint, I'm giving the endpoint which I have tested here. And next, I have to give the scope. So three things so far we have changed. So we have to change the client ID, then the graph URL, and then the scope. Okay, and then you have to read the results. So which thing you have to update? Graph API callback. I'm going to read the data, and then I'm going to read the data.value. So if you observe the JSON results, you have the data. So within the value, I need to look at the fields column, and within the fields, I need to display the value. So I have the data for each data.value. I'm going to just use a for query, and then I use data.value of i.fields.title. So this particular code alone will change. So here I've used the HTML content table. I highly recommend that you use the create element for the better performance. That is the right way to construct or draw the elements. I prefer to do that, but just to make things simple, I'm just using a table, and then I'm displaying the table here. So this can be extended to showing the file in PDF format, or any kind of data can be shown. And the rest of the code is going to be same, where you're going to authenticate the user and log in. You don't need to touch the rest of the code. Or you can rewrite the code, OAuth code, which is going to connect to the Microsoft Graph API, authenticate, and then do everything. So to make things easy, it's better you use the Bluebird MSAL, and we're using implicit authentication. And then I'm going to call the client ID. Just step one, get the client ID, update that, get the graph in step 2, graph endpoint, step 3, update the scope, and then you update the Graph API callback. So it's very simple. So the same thing extends to whether it's PHP or Python or ASP.NET or Android or whichever programming language you are comfortable with. It's all about knowing how to do OAuth authentication in the programming language of your choice. So whichever programming language it is, you need to update the client ID, and then you need to update the graph URL, you need to update the scope, and then you need to update the area where you're going to show the data. As simple as that. That is the same approach which is getting spread to different kinds of applications. So for again, as a quick recap, for HTML.js, I'm just going to get the client ID, and then graph endpoint, I'm going to update, then parse the JSON results and display the results in the way you want. It may be a table, it may be a flexbox, or it may be a slideshow. So that's just up to you. So, and it's a good thing to reference Bluebird or MSAL because you don't have to rewrite everything. Probably I prefer to rewrite everything so that it's easy for all programming languages. But if you like to reuse certain things, Bluebird and MSAL is fantastic. And this code is available from Microsoft, or give a search for JavaScript Spa Microsoft. You should be able to get the code and update. Of course, this particular same code will not be there. This is in Microsoft has the samples for calendar or events. They just follow the steps step by step, and Some of them are not pretty straightforward. It might take some trial and error, but you should be able to get it. And update the client ID, graph URL, and update the graph API callback with your needs. So this is the same step for whether PHP or Python or Android or anything. So you have to just write one-time activity. You have to just write the code one time to get the JSON results and process that in the Graph API callback. And based on the business needs, you can just update the graph endpoint. That's all. So we have just seen a demo how to display the SharePoint list items in a graph. And so this reference link is from Microsoft. You can see that. So thank you so much. So you have come this far. Hope you enjoyed and learned a lot from the Microsoft Graph session, building business apps. Now, what are the takeaways from the session? I hope that you can just go to the Graph Explorer and just start playing around. So even if you don't know coding, you just have to go to Graph Explorer and just start playing around. And even just there are some default, so many things are available. You can just select the default code available and just run the query. So just select the query you want and then start with me. Just start with me and just run the query, and you should be able to see the results, and you should be able to see some of them have the adaptive cards, and just play around. And sometimes if you're a coder, you can get the access token from here. These are new features. And if you're a coder, you have the code snippet. So right from the code, so this is evolving. Just get the copy paste the code from here, and you're good to go. So Graph Explorer should be more than enough. So if you can just open Graph Explorer and get a result, that should be more than enough. And I've just showed you different ways to display SharePoint list item, because many times you can store the data in SharePoint, either list or files or drive, and you can just display that in Graph in a simple index file using Graph, and hence I showed that example. And there are over 100 or more than that. It's evolving to 200 or 300. It's constantly evolving, and it's just your imagination. So whatever idea you have, you can almost make it possible with the help of Graph API. And if you have an idea, you can start trying it yourself, or if you need any help, you can just contact me on thangu.com. So whatever steps I gave, you can extend that to PHP, Python, Node.js, PowerShell, and many more. And SPFX, you don't have to worry about the permission setting in Azure portal. Other things, you definitely, it's a one-time activity. Once you do it, it's all going to be very easy. So thank you so much for joining. So if you have any questions, you can just shoot them to me on the question channel, or just you can go to thangu.com, and those who are interested in MS Graph can get a free ebook where I've just shared my experiences and chosen the top 10 MS Graph projects. So that will guide you on which method to choose for a business idea. And if you have any graph queries, you can contact me from the contact link. And this particular recording is available from the thangu.com also. So thank you so much. Hope you enjoy. Take care.